I get everything set up for this reaction, and then I procrastinate forever. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 4 of Buddy Daddies. And if you're confused about that cold open, let me explain here real quick. So, currently, my recording schedule starts pretty early. I like to start recording around 8 a.m. or so. It just works out the best for me. It's usually the best time for me to do so. Especially on days where I have to record multiple things, such as if I'm recording a movie for the weekend, or on Mondays where I'm recording a lot of stuff comparatively. On days where I'm recording less, like I'm only recording one show reaction, I can usually just kind of like push it a little bit. I don't have to like do it right at 8. And so like today, for example, I got up around 9, and I decided I'm going to wait until lunch, which I usually have around 10 to 11, and I'll have lunch first, and then I'll get to recording. So I finished lunch about 11:15 or so, and I get like my webcam set up, I get my mic set up, I have everything like prepared, and then I sit here scrolling through TikTok for an hour. Not for any reason or anything. It's just like for some reason I just picked up my phone and started scrolling through TikTok. I wasn't looking for anything necessarily. I wasn't like trying specifically to find something or whatever. It just happened. It's something I can't fully explain. It's just I get distracted very easily in the first place, but for some reason it's like I'm sitting here, like I have my stuff set up, but then it's like, oh hey, my phone, I'm gonna look at TikTok for a bit. I don't know if my mind is like thinking like, oh, I'm gonna look at it for like 5 minutes, see if there's anything interesting, and it just ends up being an hour, or if like I don't know. I don't know. But like for the past hour I have been sitting here like scrolling through TikTok when I've already had my stuff set up. And mind you, it's like having that little bit of extra time to let my food settle does help. Maybe it's like a subconscious thing thinking about that. But I could have started recording an hour ago. Again, I'm only recording one thing today, so it doesn't really matter that much. It's not like a huge deal. If I record this like a little bit later than I was planning, but still. It's just wild to me how I can do that without even really thinking about it, without like trying to do it. But either way, let's get focused. So, we have more Buddy Daddies. And last episode, we addressed things with Miri. I'll get these names down, I swear. With her mother. And so, Kazuki went to see her. And yeah, the fears were confirmed that she was just a terrible person who wanted to get rid of Miri because she didn't care about her, didn't want to be her mother, didn't want to have anything to do with her. She was annoyed by her existence, annoyed by her doing anything and being a child and stuff. And like even the food that Miri liked so much was just random store-bought crap that she just reheated in a microwave. Because she didn't want to put forth any effort into raising this kid. That's why she pawned it off on the guy, the father, the mafia guy. I can't remember the exact position or name or whatever. But she pawned off on him because he's the father, and he has or had, well, at this point, presumably a better lifestyle, because she's clearly not in a good place, and yeah, also in a horrible living situation with her partner. Um, but we also see that she just wanted to be rid of Mary altogether. And she didn't care what the father was like at all. She's just like, she's your kid too, you take her. She was just trying to get rid of her. And there's also the implication that Mary's father may have assaulted her, that Mary might be a child of rape, which adds a layer to it for sure. But it's like, that doesn't make what her mother did or the way she treated her okay at all. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it acceptable to treat a child like that because of the situation in which they came about. If you didn't want to have this child, you shouldn't have even attempted to raise her. You should just have adopted her out, given her to the state. Well, I don't know if that's what they call it in Japan, but you get the general idea, though. Kazuki, learns all this and sees how she acts and is honestly clearly enraged. He's really upset by this because even in just the, couple days he's been with Miri, he sees how, joyful and exuberant she is. And it's like, how did someone so wonderful like that come from such a bitch? You have to wonder. And with, both of her parents being terrible people, it's like, you kind of wonder how she's, so peppy and friendly and kind. Because she definitely wasn't raised that way. So it's like, was there someone in her life who was, giving her that? It's always possible, I guess. But either way, Kazuki knows he can't leave her in the hands of someone like this. Because as much as he might not fully admit it just yet, he has grown to care for her. Again, it's been a short time, but he's still already grown to care for her. And we also see through last episode Ray's growth in that regard. How he starts off as kind of disinterested in anything to do with her, and even a little annoyed at the way she handles his games and stuff. Through him hanging out with her while Kazuki's talking to the mom, he gets to think about his own past with his own father, who seemed pretty abusive. And it makes Ray realize that maybe he wants to give to Miri what he never had. That he doesn't find it fair to hurt this girl, even just by neglect, in the way that he was. And so by the end, he embraces the title of Daddy Ray. He embraces the idea that he is, at least temporarily, at least for now, her father. One of her fathers, but still. And it's a good show of character growth, a good show of development for him, while also hinting at a backstory that we're clearly going to get more into. Now, from episode 2, we still have this other assassin who hasn't fully come into play yet. So that's going to be interesting when that, is really introduced. We see that he's a lot more rough than Kazuki and Ray. So, yeah, I'm wondering what his role is going to be in all of this. But either way, I think we should get on with the episode, see what we continue to have in store, and hope for the best. So let's get into it. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I swear, I'm hopefully not going to make every single episode just a chance to compare this to Spy Family, but to a degree, I feel like I almost need to. And I think I said this last time. It's like, it's very clearly supposed to be like inspired by and like definitely in the same ballpark as Spy Family. It's clearly the intent. It's clearly what it's meant to be. So you almost have to compare it to a degree. I don't want to make like everything all about that, but like let's talk about this. So the school aspect of Spy Family was actually one of my biggest issues with it. And the reason for this was because at first the school stuff seemed pretty interesting. It's like, oh, we're adding a different layer to this. We're going to have all these new characters come in. This headmaster guy is hilarious. But as the first season went on, it became boring because it was oversaturating the series, taking away attention from literally everything else. And it wasn't amounting to anything. Like, I like her friend, Anya's friend, well enough. I can't think of her name at the moment. But honestly, the stuff with Damien and all, as like a way to get closer to the family and everything, I feel is entirely unnecessary. I would have rather just seen, like, Lloyd working to, like, infiltrate the family home for Desmond, I believe his name is. I would have rather seen Lloyd do that himself rather than having this entire thing with Damien. Damien just feels like a completely needless character. He doesn't add anything of use in my eyes, and the entire semi like child crush romance thing that they have going on between him and Anya, with Anya not liking him but wanting to befriend him for her father's sake, and Damien basically just being a tsundere. I don't like it. I feel like it's a weird dynamic to include for kids of their age. I'm not a fan of it. And honestly, like I said, it doesn't really amount to anything. It doesn't, like, go anywhere or do anything. And so it's like, what's the point? On top of that, like, the school stuff in general takes up so much screen time that, like I said, it takes away from everything else that I want to see more of. Like, because, like, I would say, like, almost 80% of the screen time for Spy Family is the school stuff. We barely get to see anything from Lloyd in terms of his work, and we get to see nothing from Yor. I wish it was more 50-50 split. Because then at least it wouldn't be, like, oversaturating everything. And we'd get to see Yor actually getting to do stuff, and Lloyd getting to do more, like, actual spy work. I feel like that would have been a lot better if it was actually more notably split up like that, but it's not. And on top of that, like, the moments where you actually do get, like, lesson stuff or whatever in the school, it's like, they make it what... How do I explain this? They make it feel like what people tell you school is rather than what school actually is. At least from my experience. They make it feel exceptionally boring and disinteresting. And that's what people will tell you school is. They'll tell you, "Oh, like I don't who would want to go back to their school days? It's so boring and so like ridiculously unfun." And it's like, what? No, like I wish I could go back to like being in school. Like it's much more fun than being an adult. It's much more interesting. It's a definitely a better way to spend your day. It's like I had so much of a better time in school than I have honestly most of the time now. I I don't understand that perspective at all. What, because you were learning? Most of the teachers I had at least made learning fun. Yes, I had some bad teachers who weren't great at it, but most of the teachers I had, like even if I wasn't understanding something, I enjoyed learning from. Like, oh, I was always shit at math, but I had some really fun math teachers who were really nice and kind and would at least, even if I wasn't understanding it, at least made it entertaining and fun to experience. And then it's like some of the electives I had, like photography and home ec and stuff. And I in one year in school, I took a marketing class. It's like that stuff's fun as hell. And then of course you have PE. So it's like I've never understood that. Like there's some boring aspects to it maybe, but as a total, as like a whole, and Spy Family made it feel so aggressively disinteresting. Like the fact that we're spending so much time with the school stuff and yet you're making it so fucking boring to watch. You want to know what the only thing I remember, like actively remember of the school stuff is, because it's the only thing that was actively fun in Spy Family? The dodgeball game. With the 5-year-old that, let's be honest, was designed to look like a 20-year-old and has the voice of an adult. That was the best part of anything related to the school. Everything else was honestly crap. And it was boring, and it was just so uninteresting. I just did not care. And the fact that it took up so much time made it like hard to sit through, and it really made me disinterested in the show. I wanted to see Yor go on more assassination missions. I wanted to see Lloyd do more cool spy stuff. But we just weren't getting enough of that. Now compare it to Buddy Daddies. So in this episode, we get the school, and the school in this case is a preschool, a daycare. And we see, like, I guess Japan has like different like standards for how that all of that works, how getting into a daycare system and everything like happens than here in America. But we see how it all goes down, and we see that like they have this list of things they have to get for the daycare, and with everything that they have to get, the one thing that is provided is food. But we also see like a little bit of the time in the daycare. And at first, we see Miri not having a good time because the clothes she got, like the other kids see it as like, oh, it's too fancy. That we can't, like she's not going to want to get that dirty, so we can't play with her. But then when Miss Anna tells Kazuki about this, he's able to get like more normal clothes, and that helps out, and now then everybody wants to play with her. And Kazuki, of course, lends a hand as well. She makes a lot of friends, and it seems nice. And it seems like it's just a real daycare, you know, playing around. There's naps involved. They have like a toothbrush cup so they can, you know, brush their teeth and stuff after snack time. It's like, yeah, I went to a daycare when I was younger. I don't remember the exact time period. I want to say it was like around third to fifth or sixth grade, somewhere in that realm. But I remember going to this daycare, and honestly, I surprisingly remember quite a bit about it. I have no idea why. But like I remember that's where I first saw that Timothy Tooth or Timmy the Tooth or whatever the fuck it was called, that old like VHS series of films with like the Cavity Goon and whatnot. I don't know why I remember that so vividly. I've mentioned that in like a couple other reactions by this point, and it's just like I have no idea why that is so like vivid in my mind. But it's like I can almost kind of remember the daycare center's layout, and that kind of weirds me out a bit. Um, like I can picture in my head where everything is. Like you walk in the front door, directly to the left is the check-in desk. And then there's like this big area with like all the toys, all the blocks and stuff. On the right is the bathrooms and all. Um, I believe there's like a kitchen area too. And then you go like through, there's another door in the back you go, and there's like a room for like watching movies and taking naps, stuff like that. Um, I can remember it super vividly, and I don't know why it's stuck in my head so much. Maybe I just really liked going there. Honestly, I would not be surprised. But it's like this daycare obviously seems like maybe a little higher end than compared to what I had. We didn't have like an outdoor area, for example, that we could go and play in. Um, but like we had like a little computer in one corner in the main room, and we would play like backyard baseball and stuff on that. God, I played the shit out of backyard baseball. I will tell you that. But we watched like other stuff like Carmen San Diego and whatnot there, and it's just good memories. And this episode definitely gave that vibe. A lot of it just feels so nice, you know? So like fun and childlike in terms of like the wonder and the amazement and the just joyfulness. This episode flew by for me. Like it when it ended, I was actually kind of surprised. I'm like, "Oh, it's already over." And I just started talking about the close and the ending because I saw that pop up. It's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, that connects straight to this episode." But it's like it's a very down to earth episode, which makes sense considering, Kazuki and Ray are kind of almost on probation with their job at the moment because of, messing up. Um but getting a daycare, like getting that set up for Miri is also super important so that they can start doing their jobs again. This is actually like an important step that actually makes sense for it. And we'll probably see Miri in the daycare from time to time, maybe, but I don't think it's going to be as like oversaturated as like the school in Spy Family was. Also, it's much more age appropriate. Like, Jesus fuck, the school in Spy Family is not age appropriate in any way. Like, I know it's like this high end, like fancy private academy, but like Anya's supposed to be like 5, 6 years old. And it's just like, I know she's smarter than normal because she's like some kind of experiment, but also she's not book smart. The point is, I understand the idea of this being like this really fancy private academy for all these rich people. But by God, the stuff that they learn there and the stuff that they're like talking about, I mean, outside of like dodgeball and everything, that's fine. But it's like, that's not something like a 5, 6 year old should be like thinking about. It's like, this is the school in general is like very like not appropriate for a 5, 6 year old kid to be in, not in that kind of setting. Like it just doesn't feel it doesn't feel right. And the difference here is like this is a pretty average daycare, Miss Anna is just exceptionally more appropriate of a caregiver for kids this age than, as much as I love him, than the headmaster or any of the teachers we saw at the academy and Spy Family were. Um, and it's just, this feels more real. This feels more like genuine and thought out and appropriate again. And it's like, I just really connect with this more. Spy Family, it makes it feel like distant from you. Like, sure, it's cool, it's funny, it has like this kind of shonen vibe to it, even if it's not technically a shonen. I actually don't know. I don't think it is, but it kind of has that vibe to it nonetheless. But you feel disconnected from it because it feels like it's trying to make this like really cool series out of something that should be more genuine and down to earth. And then you have Buddy Daddies, which has the cool shit in it, but it kind of like or at least it's trying, at least Kazuki and Rei are trying, mostly Kazuki, to keep that separate. Because it's like, it's understood that this should be separate. Lloyd basically using Anya to get closer to like his targets and stuff, to find out information and hopefully get into the house of Desmond, is kind of fucked up when you really think about it. And I understand like he's not naturally a father and everything, and like this is all new to him for a number of reasons, but it's like that's really not okay. On the other hand, here you have Kazuki, who is actively trying to keep Miri as far away from this as possible, because not only does he not want her involved in any of this, but he knows that that's just not appropriate. His job is not appropriate for a kid, and so he, like, having this idea to have her go to the daycare in the first place, rather than, like, something that would help with his job, is just so much better. It's just, it feels more believable. And I'm not even, like, integrating in, like, the psychic powers and other crazy shit like that Spy Family delves into, or the just ridiculous situations. Like, that's not... ignoring that. This just feels, like, more believable. And I'm just enjoying it more. That's really the biggest thing it comes down to. I'm enjoying this notably more than I did with Spy Family. And again, I'm only 4 episodes in at this point. I'm not that far in. And I like the exciting, action-packed, like, high-energy, fun shows like that. But it's just, it feels like there's a disconnect between Spy Family's, like, actual presentation of things and its characters and what they kind of, like, its characters and stories and what they need and what would work better. It feels like it's trying to force this coolness without making it feel natural. While Buddy Daddies just does that so much better. I just like this more. And like I said before, I said this last episode, I believe, I like Miri more than Anya. And I think it's because Miri feels like an actual kid. Anya didn't. Like, there were some things that Anya did that it's like, oh yeah, that's a kid would absolutely do that or whatnot. But Anya, like, again, because of being an experiment, is supposed to be, like, notably smarter and more put together than like a real kid of her age. And I think that hurts the series. I think that hurts Spy Family. But like, you know how a lot of anime fans are. The reason why Spy Family did so well and Daddies didn't get as much attention, in my eyes at least, is because Spy Family is on the surface cooler. And a good amount of anime fans, that is all that they care about. If it's cool or not. I mean, why do you think why do you think people are saying that about like how the anime awards and anime of the year nominations went? So many people were saying that exact same thing because of Solo Leveling's nomination. And like I've said before, I've only seen the first episode of Solo Leveling, so I can't rightly say. But this is based on what other people have said, that Solo Leveling is just aura farming and that it's not actually got anything more of value outside of that. While other shows that are more deserving of the praise, like Freerun, actually has a lot of depth to it. And I've seen a good amount of Freerun by this point. Need to get back to that at some point as well. But, like, I've only seen the one episode of Solo Leveling, so again, I can't say for sure, comparatively. But I feel like that just goes in with a lot of shows these days. A lot of anime fans these days are just looking for something cool, something action-packed, something badass. They want to see aura farming. They don't care about, like, good stories or character depth or nuanced elements. All they want is coolness. And I truly believe that's got to be the reason why Spy Family did so well and this didn't. Because I find this to be just better made. It's wild, but in 4 episodes it feels better made than Spy Family's first season did. But I mean, that's my subjective opinion, at least. Not everybody has to agree with it, so there is that. But yeah, I think another aspect of it that is affecting me, and I'll be completely honest with this is a me thing, is, and I've talked about this with other things, but I think it's my, like, strong desire to be a mom. Like, I want so badly to be a mother. And the problem is that can cloud my feeling, or that can, like, inform my feelings, is a better way to put it. In terms of a lot of things that I watch. I tend to obviously get very attached to child characters because of this, because I want to see them, safe and protected and to not be put in horribly dangerous situations. And so, like, seeing Miri here and seeing, like, how much she is being cared for by them compared to, like, her own mother, seeing her being put into, like, this daycare and seeing how excited she is. And it's like, it kind of broke my heart a bit when it showed, like, her, like, not making friends and having a hard time and being bored and, like, sad. Kind of broke my heart a bit. But I knew it would turn around because I know that's what this show would do. And so seeing it turn around and seeing her so happy afterwards, that's what I want to see. And it's just like, I feel like I wasn't getting that kind of stuff with Spy Family. So, I'm sorry for making this all about the comparison again. But again, with a series like this that is clearly directly inspired by Spy Family, to such a degree that it could be considered a clone, you kind of have to. And like Oreo cookies, I think the copy is better than the original. For those who don't know, Oreo cookies are a copy of Hydrox cookies. They were not the original chocolate cream sandwich cookies. They directly copied Hydrox, pushed Hydrox out of business, Well, mostly out of business. I think they technically still exist. Um, and like became known for that kind of cookie. And it's like Oreos are everywhere now. Everyone knows those, and no one knows what Hydrox are anymore, unless you've heard of them from like a TikTok or something. I don't remember if I first heard about them from TikTok or from a video on YouTube. I don't remember. But yeah, it's like that. I believe that this is better. This has just surpassed the original. And unlike with Oreo, I think it's not through underhanded tactics. I think it's just because it's better made. I think it's just because it's got more effort and love put into it and makes the characters feel more real. But again, it's all my perspective on things. Media and enjoyment of media is exceptionally mind is breaking. What is the word? Oh my god. I've said it in this video. Subjective. It's exceptionally subjective, and everyone's opinion is technically correct because it's just your view. And there's no way for that to be wrong. So, yeah. I really, really do like how this has turned out. And I hope that this heralds in even more of this great stuff for the future. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Buddy Daddies? Are you sick of me constantly making the comparisons? And what are your thoughts in terms of those comparisons, though? In terms of, like, Spy Family compared to Buddy Daddies. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's too early to tell? Because that'd be completely fair. I understand that. It's only 4 episodes in. So let me know your thoughts. And thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.